With Delta Vacations, you can travel to your favorite vacation destinations throughout the U.S., Canada, Mexico, the Caribbean, Latin America, Europe, and Asia. You'll save when you purchase air and hotel together and earn up to 7,500 bonus miles, in addition to credited flight miles with the Sky Miles program. For reservations and information, visit deltavacations.com or contact a travel agent.
Thrilled to be at Neal & Palmer, which is a formal wear store here in London, talking with Parrish Palmer, whose father is actually the owner of the store, and he is going to talk to us today about morning coats, things that guests do here in London for attending weddings, and then also his prediction about what they're actually going to be wearing probably at the dinner Friday night after the wedding.
Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Well, what we've recommended for the royal wedding is a traditional morning coat. The traditional morning coat generally has a herringbone stripe in it. It comes in different weights, a winter weight, a summer weight, but generally for spring, summer, we use a Super 120 lightweight cloth. The colours that it comes in black, it comes in charcoal grey and a Prince of Wales grey, but generally for guests it's either charcoal grey or black. On the continent in Europe, people use grey quite a lot. We find that in Britain, people prefer black. And again, either colour is appropriate. With the vest, traditionally people wear grey, but now you see people using different colours to match flower arrangements, bridesmaids' colours, buttonholes, and generally, again, with the shirt, there's a classic white and then a tie. Especially for the royal wedding, we've recommended white shirts and a tie. But for other occasions, people do change it around a bit. People do sometimes wear a cravat. In France, it's called a lavalière. It can be called as a stock. And generally, it's tied as a tie, as a half Windsor, a single knot tie. And generally, it's worn with a Victorian wing collar shirt. When worn, the colour can be shown on top of the back of the suit, and it just gives you a large surface area of white with the actual wings being larger, and it holds the cravat in place. And generally, if you wear a double-breasted low-cut waistcoat, you generally stick to a tie, but if you wear a single-breasted waistcoat, then you can wear a cravat, because the lines of the jacket and the waistcoat actually sit really nicely with the waistcoat.
Do you find a lot of grooms wear the cravat to distinguish themselves as the groom versus other members of the party?
Yeah, a lot of grooms will have ties made in the same cloth, and then the groom will wear a cravat. That way, in the photos, when they go back and look at the photos, it all matches. Also, he stands out a little bit more with the different shirt and the different cravat, and then the ushers and the best men get to keep the ties as a memory, and then they can wear the ties again. Something like this is just for memory and for fun. But a lot of people do wear cravats with or without a pin, and it makes it a bit more dressy. Some people are totally against it, some people really like it, so we have like a 50-50% balance of both. And some people wear it in the evening. If they don't want to wear a bow tie, they'll wear like a black cravat with a tux and a black waistcoat. The benefit of a waistcoat is that if you're quite warm, or you go from afternoon wedding to evening wedding, it gives you the balance of taking the jacket off without looking underdressed and informal.
Sure. Are there particular events that you would not wear a cravat?
Yes, when you go to Buckingham Palace, when you go to the Royal Enclosure for the racing, for the Royal Ascot racing, there's a very strict dress code as what's acceptable. And traditional British, traditional English dress is going to be a white classic collar shirt with a waistcoat and a black morning coat, and especially grey striped trousers. There is variations of trousers that you have, but traditionally it's a grey stripe. And then you would wear a classic collar shirt and a classic tie. Some people do use houndstooth trousers and different stripes, widths, the way the pattern and the black and the grey is all broken up. So it's personal preference really, if you prefer a lighter grey trouser or a darker grey trouser.
So for the viewers that we have in the US, can you talk us through the difference between a waistcoat and what we would refer to as a vest?
I mean, the only really difference is the style is generally the same. Here in the UK we have a lot of different styles. The difference between the waistcoat and the vest is, in the United States a lot of people have elastic back waistcoats. I mean, I think the reason for that being is it's a heat factor. When you have a shirt, a vest and then a suit on top, it's just easier to breathe. But the downfall of that is that the vest can move quite a lot. So what we do is on our waistcoats we actually put a lining on it with a back adjuster. So the waistcoat is really something that can be tightened around the waist to give you some shape and also fit correctly and look very neat. It holds the shirt in, it holds the tie or the cravat in place, and with the lining and the backing being on it, it lets it hang correctly and sit flat. And I think that's the really difference. I think the general style is the same, but it's really the lining and the way it's constructed. Then we have a double-breasted waistcoat that we do, which comes in a 6 or 8 button. Then we have a vest that comes with a peak lapel.
Yeah, that was very interesting. We saw some of those. Can we take a look at what a
the different
waistcoat
lapels
with a lapel looks like?
Yeah, I'll just get one for you. Great. This is a waistcoat which is we call it a single-breasted waistcoat with a notch lapel, single-breasted lapel. Really, we put a lapel on the waistcoats that have a plainer cloth to make it a bit more dressy. A lot of people use these waistcoats when they go to the racing. Racing's really popular here. People dress up for it when you go to Longchamp in Paris, and when you go to Goodwood and Cheltenham, and loads of different. Horse racing is a big thing to do with vests. Then we have this other model, which is a double-breasted shawl collar waistcoat. So what happens with this vest is that when you have a jacket on, these actual revers, the actual lapels, get hidden underneath the waistcoat, so it doesn't actually conflict with any styling aspect of the jacket. And underneath, this is a DB, double-breasted lapel. It's a larger peaked lapel than the single-breasted, and then again it has the 6 buttons, but providing on people's shape and style and how what period look they want to create, we will put different buttons and different details. Sometimes we'll put a buttonhole here. People want to wear a pocket watch, and just personal details, lining colours, and they can choose the fabric for the silk too.
Your fabrics are so amazing, like the patterns and the colors. You have such a wide variety. Obviously, here, people have embraced that.
Yeah. They come to us for a choice of fabrics and a choice on not only their personality but their look they want to create, and we will make waistcoats and jackets up for people depending on. Some people want to keep it really plain, and I understand them keeping the vests really plain because they want to wear like a Hermes or a Ferragamo tie, something really wild, and we don't want to put pattern on pattern and make it so busy on the eyes.
Sure.
So sometimes it takes a lot of convincing that it takes time for a customer to try a few different designs, models on, and that also goes with the colours and the patterns. But a lot of people know what they actually want. So because we have a lot of choice, we have about I think last time we counted roughly 2,500 cloths here. But we don't have everything up on the shop floor. We have a lot downstairs. And these fabrics are all copywritten to us and designed for us in France, Austria, and across Europe. So we have different mills that produce different cloths for us. And also our ties are handmade in London. And we have a lot of choice. Again, with the ties, I said that people go for solid block colours, but some people do like stripes, but sometimes it reminds them of school. So for weddings, a lot of people don't wear stripy ties.
Can we talk a little bit about the actual, the tail of the coats and the difference between what we might see as a tuxedo coat and the morning coat?
Yeah, generally the morning coat has a single button here. For the actual service, generally the groom will have it done up, but it's afterwards for the photos he would open it to show the colour of the vest underneath. The back of the coat has a towel and a single vent. I mean, the reason for the towels is just to make it flowing and make you look straight and tall, and also the vent just gives you more flexibility of the back hanging correctly. And many years ago, when people used to ride a lot of horses, when they used to sit down, the vent would allow your jacket to sit beside you and not crease the vents. So if you look at the style of riding coats, they're generally a similar style to the morning tail coats, but not as long. And also the tail coat is specifically designed to people's heights. So generally the tail should be, the end of the tail should be behind the knee. So we have different lengths of the tails and different widths of lapels. The idea around the tails is just to create a silhouette of tall, slim, a formal look. And really what the difference is between a frock coat and a morning coat is the front two panels. On a frock coat, the panel will be squared, and on a morning coat, the panels are curved. And with a frock coat, if you have the panels squared, it makes you look short because it takes away your legs.
Sure.
So with the panels cut out, it makes you look taller.
Interesting. Very interesting. Now, with a morning coat, the shirt traditionally would have a French cuff. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then be accessorized.
Yeah. Normally with a morning suit, you wear a white shirt, double cuff generally. But then again, it depends on people's age and personal preference. Some of the older gents find it difficult to wear a French cuff to do up the cufflink, so they go for straight buttons. But generally, most of our customers go for a double cuff. They call it a French cuff, some people call it a double cuff, and it just gives you it's a thicker fabric. Instead of having a single cuff, it's a double cuff. It has a double fold on it. So you have the base. This is just the basic cuff, but then you put another cuff so it's more stiffer, it has more body to it, and then you can see it at the edge of the suit. And then the cufflinks would go all the way through, and then be done up, so you would see sometimes the cufflinks could match the tie.
That's great. So another way that the guys can really personalize their overall look is with the accessories, the tie, cufflinks. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and sometimes if you're going to wear a tuxedo, sometimes also people personalize it with their studs and their bow tie colours. And also another benefit with French double cuff shirts is sometimes what we do here at Neal and Palmer, we put another buttonhole in. So if you feel that you want to show more of your cuff, you don't have to. You can adjust your sleeve length too.
Nice, very nice.
So it's a different option for people. But
so if you want to show off more,
that's correct. If you want to show more of your cufflinks, you would have the extra length on the cuff. Also, what we specialise here is all of our shirts are white collar and cuff. We don't do we don't do anything else except white collar and cuffs. So we keep shirts which are different to everybody else, and then we do a shirt with a piping with an edging.
I love that.
That's very nice.
So it saves.
Detail.
So if you don't want to wear a tie to the office, you can just wear it open, or even have a tie. It's just something, again, personalize yourself, to have a trend and be different to what you find everywhere else.
Right.
With Neal and Palmer, what we do is we have something different to what everybody else does, and then we create our own collection that is unique to the store.
So what you find is that most people, if they're guests at the wedding, they will either rent a morning suit that they could potentially wear all day and into
That's
the
correct.
evening.
Yep.
And then if during the evening, if it gets warm, then they take that off and
Take
they
the
have
jacket off.
the beautiful vest underneath.
That's right.
So some of the guests can also, I mean, some of the guests will rent
Yes,
the morning coat.
that's correct.
And then actually some of them are buying them, they're purchasing them
Yeah.
as almost like a uniform that they would just wear to every wedding that they go to.
That's correct, and they'll make a choice of changing with their ties, sometimes with their shirts. If you have like a pink vest, you might want a blue shirt. A lot of people experiment with colours, but generally somebody will buy a morning suit and they'll use it. A lot of people who in England that go to school actually wear morning suits for school as well, so they will use that morning suit throughout their life till they grow out of it. Okay. Some customers that we have here have morning suits which have been handed down from their grandparents. A lot of people in England, mid to late 20s, who friends now will start getting married, they'll start having occasions, they want to go to the races, will invest in a morning suit which they will keep, because generally 99% of all British weddings people wear morning suits. There is sometimes a slight change, but the Scottish wear their kilts and the English wear their morning suits. So that's really how it works.
Wonderful.
One of the things that we've been seeing is grooms purchasing custom suiting in the States for their wedding.
Yes.
And it seems like you have a lot of other options other than the morning suits that might be appropriate for a wedding as well. Can you tell us about some of the other coat options?
Yeah, I mean, there is another suit that we do, which is a lounge suit, which is a suit which is longer than normal length, and it is 4 buttons. It's not like a frock coat, but it's like a lounge suit. It's a dress suit really, and a lot of people are wearing these too. And these are all custom made in any fabric, any colour. The lining, the buttons. This has a 4 button. You can have a 3 button. Again, the trousers are custom made. Whether you want flat fronted, belt loop, side adjusters, that can all be done. On the back you can have a single vent, double vent. It all depends on preference and shape, how the back will fall. Again, the cuff, you can have 4 buttons, 3 buttons, or a functioning cuff. Again, these are all custom made. This is one style that we do. We also do make a few regular suits, not as many as we do with the morning suits and the other suits we do, but what we find is that some people will invest in a regular suit, but they want to wear a cravat, they want to wear a waistcoat. So we'll combine the tones of colours of their suits to get them the accessories to make them feel more special. So if you have a group of 50 or 100 guests at a wedding and you want the groom to stand out in a suit, we'll accessorize the suit so the groom stands out in the photographs, he feels special on the day, and he also compliments maybe the flowers or the bridesmaids, how he wants to match and how willing he is to dress up. Even sometimes fathers of the brides like to dress up, and the brothers and the rest of the group. We also have requests. We know in the US that you use a lot of tuxedos, so we have like we'll make a whole group bow ties to complement the bridesmaids. It's really, I think, tying in colours and dressing up what we have to make it a bit more special for the day. We find that a lot of people in the evenings and also day wear are going for this Mandarin Nehru style jacket. Now this is a pure wool coat in a black watch tartan. It can be worn with navy blue pants, navy blue trousers, and it can be designed in any cloth and any style you want. Again, it's all custom made. depending on the colour you buy and how you dress it up, it can all be worn in the day with jeans for informal occasions, or smart blue pants, white shirt, and then it can be worn in the evening with a bow tie. And it can be dressed up or dressed down, so you have the best of both worlds. Again, the vents and the finishing is personal preference on how somebody wants to dress it, how formal the occasion is, and where they're going to wear it.
How long does it take to have a custom piece created?
A jacket like this we can hand make in about 4 to 6 weeks. Again, it depends on how many fittings we need to give the customer. Normally, for a jacket like this, it's 1 or 2 fittings, but sometimes we have, when we're making from a pattern or a block that we've already cut for a customer, we can just complete the jacket and send it on. But generally 1 to 2 fittings, about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the season we're in and how many orders we have. Right. This is a velvet jacket that we do, and it's a traditional British smoking jacket. Start of the hunt season, when people meet at their clubs or people have gatherings at their stately homes, you would wear a jacket like this so all your guests would know you own the house. You are the person hosting the party. Now, these can be made in a range of different styles, from single-breasted to double-breasted. This particular model is a double-breasted, generally worn at home, winter to keep you warm, and also an alternative to a dressing gown. So you could wear it with slippers, but now, with trends changing, people are wearing these coats out for evening with a tuxedo shirt and a bow tie and black pants.
Very fun.
Are there certain seasons that they would not wear that?
Summer. When it gets really, really warm, you wouldn't wear anything like this because it would be too hot. But generally, in the evening, if it's mild, if you're going to a club or a bar in London, a lot of people wear smoking jackets. A lot of British people wear smoking jackets. Also on the continent too. Depending on what the occasion is and how formal you want to be, a lot of people do wear these smoking jackets. This is a pure cotton velvet jacket with quilted collars. It's handmade here in London, and we have all the braiding, froggings. Some people want functioning cuffs. Again, it can be totally customized.
The quilted lapel on that is just fabulous.
I mean, we have it in green, we have it in purple, we have it in red. We have all different colours depending on how flamboyant and how outgoing people want to be, how many times they want to wear it.
The level of customization that you do is obviously very diverse, which is great. So I would imagine that your customers are very excited with all the options that they have.
Yeah, yeah. They come in with their ideas, and we try and fulfill the best we can and try and work with them to create something that's unique for them, and also something that they're not going to find anywhere else in the world. We don't have any other store, and we don't wholesale or have concessions in any department store in the world. So a lot of people, international customers, come here to London specifically to have custom things made by us.
And you have a lot of celebrity clients. Can you mention any of them to us?
I did Rod Stewart's suit for his wedding, and we make for Mick Fleetwood and a lot of different celebs.
On Friday at the Royal Wedding, we'll be seeing a lot of Windsor ties.
A lot of people have asked us and requested us, what would you recommend? What should we wear? Should we wear a cravat? Should we wear a tie? And we've said it's better if you wear a tie. You want to look classic, you're a guest, and also it's a formal state event, so it's better to stay in uniform, as we call it, and and it looks smarter because it's not the guest that's getting married, and it just follows the whole theme of how everything is traditionally and classically done. But you will see black or grey jackets with ties and grey striped trousers. You might see a few people wearing cravats not knowing, but generally I think 80 to 90% of the crowd, the guests, will all have ties.
So do you have any predictions for the dinner on Friday evening? What guests may be wearing if they're not wearing their morning suit from the wedding during the day?
I think a lot of people will be wearing black tie dinner suits with burgundy or white bow ties, depending on what their partners are wearing and how they're going to dress up.
thank you so much for
Great.
spending the
Thank you.
afternoon with
No
us.
problem.
Really,
Nice
really
to meet you.
appreciate it.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
very
coming.
much.